What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/StoriesAboutKevin. Alright, this story's called The Kitchen of Horrors, or How I Met a Herd of Rabid Kevins and Lived to Tell the Tale. Probably I'm just unlucky to get so many dumbasses on my way, or somehow I've developed the worst superpower in history. A magnetic field that only attracts dimwits, or maybe there's so many of them one just can't help but bump into the molasses for brains everywhere. I don't know. All of this to say that the following shining examples of Kevinness are unrelated to the other kitchen Kevin I've already written about. Sadly, they are everywhere. They are legion. Background. I've worked for a short time in a busy chain restaurant in the middle of London and resigned when my Kevin tolerance reached its limit. Head chef was this kid, about 25. Not that that would be a bad sign per se. I've done a cooking course under a 22-year-old chef who is a natural talent and a genius. But this guy, 1 year earlier, was working as a runner, had no experience, and as it came out later, no formal knowledge or training. He did work hard, but not smart. Kitchen had an incredibly high turnover rate. Staff was coming and going on average of at least one change a week, either someone resigning or someone else coming in. Not a good sign. Now, down to the Kevinalities. Head Kevin had no fucking clue about organization, teamwork, or task distribution. Basically, it was everyone for himself. An example, you have 3 burgers with sweet potato fries on the ticket. One with cheddar cheese and bacon, the others with red Leicester, and onion ring. A good kitchen team of 3 gets one to grill the burgers and drop the fries, another to cut, toast, and prepare the bread with lettuce, tomato, and whatnot, and the third one on the pass to handle the rest, warming the plates under the pass lights, preparing the sauce pots, garnish, and so on, check everything, and sending the food to the customers. This kitchen worked on, you get the ticket, you handle it from start to finish, resulting in chefs tripping all over each other, dishes prepared twice or not at all, traffic jams on the counter, and no final quality control. Both head Kevin and second Kevin, they were actually housemates, had no idea what cross-contamination was, and to this day, I'm fairly certain both faked their online courses on health and safety. Once, second Kevin had to prepare some bacon strips. He grabbed a bag of uncooked bacon, laid it on the pass, the first goddamn huge freaking mistake, raw meat on the counter where you assemble the dish you're sending to the customer, took a brown cutting board, the one that's color-coded to be used exclusively for stuff like onions, raw potatoes, and such, a yellow knife, aka the one color-coded to be used exclusively for cooked meat, and starts chopping. One of the floor managers comes in, sees that, his face goes white, takes everything from under second Kevin, moves the proper red colored board and knife on the counter in the raw prep area, and drops the rest in the dishwasher straight away. Second Kevin gets upset cause he didn't understand what was wrong. They used to prepare coleslaw from scratch using the sink as a mixing bowl. The sink reserved for washing vegetables, mainly potatoes, more often than not without even bothering cleaning it beforehand. Most boroughs have their own rules for garbage collection. Some sell pre-taxed bags and only collect rubbish that's been packed in them. This was one of them. Big Kev, the manager, didn't buy the rubbish bags once for whatever reason, so we couldn't put the garbage out for collection for 2 freaking weeks. Genius idea? Let's hide it all in the basement. An average of 4 large bags per day full of leftover food, flour, vegetable trimmings, chicken bones, eggshells, stale bread, festering in a basement for 2 weeks. Speaking of Big Kev, I've heard through the grapevine that he was originally training as a general manager elsewhere. Then all of a sudden, he got transferred and demoted to a simple waiter until a friend of his, the one who hired him in the first place, a middle-level manager, stepped in and reinstated him as manager in training. What happened, I can't know, but I guess some serious crap had been going on. Maybe theft or dealing. Company probably didn't have definitive proof for firing him and opted for demotion. Head Kevin.
Tomorrow's the busiest day of the week. Let's put just 2 of them on shift and make one of them the new kitchen porter, literally at his first job experience that we hired 3 days ago. I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
Guess what? The chef resigned the very same evening. And then Head Kevin did that again. Oven had a self-cleaning cycle, but it needed some chemicals, of course. 2 blue bags and a red bag, coming in conveniently in one delivery. They ran out of red bags because all the Kevins were just dropping 3 bags of whatever was closest to grab. We had a blast chiller with an additional defrost functionality. Of course, none of the Kevins ever actually bothered to learn what was its purpose, and how to use it. They were using it as a spare fridge or to cool down preps before the walk-in fridge, or so they thought. They never realized it was set on defrost all the time, keeping all the food in that nice, comfortable temperature range for bacteria to reproduce like crazy. Or, to quote Chef Ramsay,
"You're trying to kill someone, you freaking donkeys."
That's not quite him, but I tried. Wow. Yeah, that's incredibly dangerous, if we're being real here. So they should probably get some kitchen training going on there. Yeah, FDA, open up. Haha, that's funny. Alright, this story's called Kevin, Fury Road. The title is only slightly hyperbolic, but it's a good one, eh? So I went to high school with a Kevin, as most of us did. Most of us went to high school with a staggering number of Kevins. But our school was very tiny, 120 people including staff, and this particular Kevin's antics would spread across the school at near light speed. We all eagerly awaited the inevitable "God damn it, Kevin!" from day to day. I'll give some smaller examples before the main Kevisode here. Kevin would habitually lean on the back 2 legs of his chair, despite falling violently almost every single time he did it. Kevin got his phone taken away nearly 24 times in a 4-week span in the same class. He sat directly in front of the teacher and never tried to hide his phone, or even put it on silent. Kevin never bought his own cigarettes, but he sure would like to smoke everyone else's. Kevin couldn't fathom why everyone avoided him during lunch and wouldn't bum him smokes every goddamn day. Jesus Christ, I'm still mad about that one. Every damn day. Kevin once meowed at a teacher for an entire class period. Yes, meowed like a cat. He was baffled as to why he was kicked out of said class. Not once, not twice, but 3 freaking times. Kevin put a cup of noodles in the microwave without water in it. He started a fire each time. The smell was indescribable, and he got the student lounge taken away from all of us. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks a lot, bud. There are many more examples, but I'd have to hit up my former classmates for those. It's been a few years. Anyway, here's the main event. Kevin, by no laws of God or man, should ever have been allowed behind the wheel of a vehicle any larger or faster than a big wheel. I can't even count the number of accidents he had, big and small. It's a miracle he made it to 17 years old. He's still kicking now, don't worry. Naturally, his parents bought him a shiny new sports car, what every teenage dingus deserves. One morning on his way to school, Kevin came frighteningly close to killing a fellow student who was riding on his scooter on the sidewalk. He didn't even realize he'd hit him and kept driving driving. Thankfully, the kid wasn't badly hurt at all, and nothing lengthy and legal came out of it. Unfortunately, this was something of a regular occurrence for Kevin. The second he got in his car, every other student was in immediate danger, and a couple more minor accidents happened. Kevin should not drive. Now, I mentioned our school was small, and that meant most of us had very close relationships with our absolutely amazing teachers. Even Kevin. We could speak very openly and frankly with them, and they would do the same in turn. So I'm walking back from lunch one day, and I see Kevin speaking with one of our teachers, and it looks very intense. I hadn't seen Kevin at lunch trying to bum cigarettes from everyone, and apparently he was in some deep dookie. As I get closer, I can hear the conversation.
Kevin, if you don't pull your head out of your ass, you're gonna kill one of these kids, or yourself. At the very least, you'll lose your license. Get it together.
I'm a good driver though, I swear.
I'm sure you are, buddy, but if you can't stop dicking around long enough to look in the rear view, or God forbid, out of the windshield, bad crap is gonna happen. You're lucky it hasn't yet. I'm just asking that you pay attention, Kevin. Can you do that for me? Just open your eyes a little wider or something.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I know.
All right. Now go get yourself some lunch, buddy. I'll tell you next period why you're late coming back. You're smarter than they give you credit for, Kevin. You just have to prove it.
Scooter Kid is sitting 10 feet away, barely stifling laughter. Kevin slowly mopes his way out the front door. I wait a minute and approach the teacher to try and get some more details out of him. But before I can, the front door bursts open and another student comes in screaming. Kevin almost ran me over just now! Someone needs to take his damn car away! At most, 2 minutes had elapsed since the end of Kevin's conversation with the teacher. I have never seen a man leap into action so fast and with so much anger. This teacher was a former LA police officer in the late 80s. He did not screw around. Kevin's head was about to roll. By the time I got outside, it was mostly over, but apparently Mr. Teacher Man stopped Kevin from leaving the parking lot, pulled him from the car, put him in some kind of armbar, and was currently tearing him a new butthole and pouring vinegar in with words I only wish I could remember. It was incredible. While I agree that a teacher should never touch a student like that, I think this case might be something of an exception. Kevin was seriously going to kill someone someday. Not much changed for the rest of Kevin's high school career. He drove a little slower for sure. He had perfect attendance somehow, graduated just before I did, and I didn't hear much about him after that. Until maybe a year ago. A Facebook post pops up. Kevin, sweet, simple, lethal behind the wheel Kevin is now a licensed airline pilot. He flies all the damn time. Keep an eye on the skies, friends, especially if you're on a scooter. Nice. I love how this was written. Good job, man. Good story. I trust Kevin. If he's licensed, that's better than I can do. For now, because I eventually want to fly a plane, and I'm gonna be a badass at it. This story's called Kavina Loves Her Cat and Other Stories. I have a coworker that's simple. I don't think she's on the autism spectrum. I think she's just dumb as fridge. Nobody likes working with her because she plagues you with questions she already knows the answer to and inane comments that make you want to scream, "Nobody cares, you moron!" Highlights. One day, another coworker and I were chatting about how I had a mouse in my house. We live in a really rural area, and my house backs up onto some woods. Mice are just something that sometimes happens. Kavina overhears us and jumps in to tell us that she has it so much worse because she has possums. Wait, what? At first, I thought she meant under her house. In that case, leave them alone. Possums can't get rabies fleas, they're not aggressive, and eat things like ticks. She did not mean under the house. According to her, they live in the walls. They just gave up on getting them out, so they just live there now. We work in a long-term care medical facility in the kitchen. Her job includes bringing snacks to the nurse's station twice a day, according to a list that's posted every day. 99.9% of the list doesn't really change. She's worked there for 4 months and still has to ask about it nearly every day. On the subject of the snack deliveries, one day a nurse called to ask if we would add a few cups of orange sherbet on the tray for her station. I relay the message to Kavina, who is finishing preparing that specific snack tray. Literally all she has to do is walk over to the ice cream freezer, grab 2 cups of sherbet, and put them on the tray. The ice cream boxes are even color-coded. Just look for the orange stripes. I also make sure to be exceedingly clear on which station it goes to. She still sometimes gets lost in the facility, even though it's basically a circle. If you get lost, you'll either end up at a dead end or back where you started, so I make sure that she understands where it's going. She ends up putting 2 vanilla ice creams on the tray for the station on the opposite side of the building. I had to go back and fix it. Kavina never had kids due to some health issues that basically ended her fertility. She wanted kids, it just didn't happen. So now her cat is her kid. I know a lot of people call their pets their kids. I do it myself. My dog is my baby girl. The difference is that I understand that my dog is still a dog. She's not really a baby. I'm not sure that Kavina truly understands that her cat is not her baby. One day, she comes up to me and my coworker and says, "My baby is turning 1 next week. I think I'll bring cupcakes to work to celebrate. What do you think?" I didn't know you had kids.
Yeah, didn't you have insert health problem here? I thought you couldn't have kids.
No, it's my baby. You know, kitty cat. She's turning 1. I'm so proud of her.
Oh, that's nice. Next week, she actually did bring in cupcakes and was very clear that they were for the cat's birthday. She got worried that the icing would melt, so she put them in the walk-in cooler and made sure to tell everyone where they were. Then she forgot where she put them and got panicked, thinking they had been thrown away. She also calls so many things by her own names, making everyone else confused about what the actual hell she's talking about. Some examples, okay, so walk-in cooler is
Big freezer.
freezer is
Far back freezer.
reach-in cooler is
Grabbing fridge.
meal cards are
Tickets.
pans of bacon or sausage,
Meat trays.
dry stock.
Closet.
I'm sure there's so much more to tell about her, but that's the ones I can think of off the top of my head. I'm actually working my 2-week notice, so very soon I'll be away from Kavina and into my new cushy office job.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now let me say this. I think Kavina is cute in this situation and I would be her friend because they said that they can't have kids, so she treats her cat like her kid. That's okay. I mean, if that's her way of coping, then so be it. It's not hurting anyone. And if you don't catch on that she's referring to her cat after the first few times, that's on you, buddy. But the whole snack thing, yeah, that seems kind of frustrating, but the other stuff, just little quirks, man. It's cute. Alright, this story's called Kavina Hates Electromagnetic Waves, but not when they're actually affecting her. I know a Kavina, which I might be related to. I mean, she's a complete Karen, but that's a story for another time. So, she's not the brightest when it comes to logic. Plus, she has zero knowledge of electricity despite working at a power company and despite my efforts to teach her. She hates waves. She used to be afraid of Wi-Fi, but we got a router after some struggle. She's super scared of 5G too, of course. Before that, she was scared of Bluetooth. truth. 10 years ago, she was the person that showed you the video of the 4 phones calling each other and popping a kernel of corn in the middle. A couple of months ago, she came home super happy, telling us that she got a radio wave beauty treatment on the face, that it felt hot and tingly, and she has multiple appointments to attend in the future. Say that again, but slowly. Like, yeah, that's exactly what you fear from Wi-Fi and 5G, but this time, it's actually powerful enough for you to feel it. Damn it. Yo, that is... Everyone's got family members like that. It's ridiculous. Guys, don't be this person. The Kevin. The Kavina here, not the OP. Be the OP. Report the Kavina behavior on r/StoriesAboutKevin, but don't be the Kavina.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.